Well, good morning, everyone. Apparently wearing pink, or sorry, salmon, and having lights in the background has thrown off my camera. So I guess I'm a little washed out today. I wonder if I can compensate a little. Whatever. All pro over here. All pro. Good to be with you here this morning. Uh, yeah, going to be diving into Proverbs 15 today, and then I'm trying to decide if I want to do this today or a different day, but I think it's time for a full-on theme song. And so at some point, we're going to be wanting to, uh, yeah, have a lyric contest or something like that, where we'll get lyrics submitted and get that pulled into a song, and then have it generated for us, and that'll be our intro music every morning. Although that runs the risk of something that just gets really stuck in my head, and but still, I think it'd be fun. So, in any case, let's start this morning with a little bit of prayer, and then we'll go from there. Father God, thank you so much for another day and for your wisdom that you give to us, and that you have just blessed us with so many things that we don't always recognize. It's easy for us to get caught up in sensationalism in the world and thinking that things are awful when they're really better than they've ever been. So, Father, forgive us for those times we do that, and help us this morning to see that you are active in the world through us, and that we need to embrace your wisdom to be able to do that properly. So we do ask that you would help us with that this morning. We do pray this in Jesus' name. Amen. Awesome. 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 All right. I'm hoping that this is not a tech glitch that I'm seeing here. And I can't do this. I can't do that 100%. Too much brightness. Can't see the screen even. Too much power. These lights that I have. All right, let's do this. 15 in the New International Version. A gentle answer turns away wrath, but a harsh word stirs up anger. Another good action item right out of the gate. The tongue of the wise adorns knowledge, but the mouth of the fool gushes folly. The eyes of the Lord are everywhere, keeping watch on the wicked and the good. The soothing tongue is a tree of life, but a perverse tongue crushes the spirit. A fool spurns a parent's discipline, but whoever heeds correction shows prudence. It's also a callback to we're seeing these 2 by 2 patterns where you have a thought that's interjected, and then you have something in between, and then that thought is reworded in a different way. So, like a gentle answer turns away wrath, and then you see soothing tongue is a tree of life. Oh my gosh. Yeah. So it's cool how that works sometimes, where you just actually our minds work like that. It turns out that we do better when we have the ability to kind of have things in multiple different perspectives. It's why I do multiple translations of the Bible. Actually, that's a big thing. It's just the way we've been designed. So anyway, verse 6: the house of the righteous contains great treasure, but the income of the wicked brings ruin. I think that could be interpreted multiple different ways. Not all treasure being monetary or having value of that kind of way, but there's also kind of more intrinsic value there. Very cool. The lips of the wise spread knowledge, but the hearts of fools are not upright. The Lord detests the sacrifice of the wicked, but the prayer of the upright pleases him. The Lord detests the way of the wicked, okay, but he loves those who pursue righteousness. Stern discipline awaits anyone who leaves the path. The one who hates correction will die. Wow. Verse 11, death and destruction lie open before the Lord. How much more do human hearts? Oh, Abaddon, yes. Abaddon, yes. This is the, yeah. That might be a different day. Verse 12, mockers resent correction, so they avoid the wise. And that's very, very much something I see a lot of. Just actually, this I think is as much a warning as anything else, that sometimes we get into these patterns of, we've talked about this before, of needing to prove we're right, or get into a debate with someone who is wanting to debate something, but the rules of that debate have not been established. They're just there to mock you. And I don't know if I've told the story before or not, but I was once invited on a podcast, and it was to talk about my faith and fasting and things like that. And what I didn't realize, and this was partially my fault for not doing enough research, was that this person had a podcast that openly mocks faith. And so he goes out and sabotages guests, to basically like make them seem like fools. And so in listening to the episodes after the fact, I was kind of shocked to see that he uses the same argument over and over again. The same. It's like he has 5 Bible verses that he uses over and over and over again to try and make Christians look stupid because they're not prepared to answer these verses. I didn't play along with his game, and I didn't let him publish the episode, that sort of thing. I was very adamant against it, and he was all mad, and it's like, whatever. But that's the kind of thing here, is that the mockers will set you up in that way. They don't like being corrected. They don't like being told what is right. They don't like being corrected in that way. So they generally avoid the wise. They avoid those kind of people. They look for suckers. And I don't know why he thought that I was one of them, but sorry, dude. Not today. Verse 13. A happy heart makes the face cheerful, but heartache crushes the spirit. The discerning heart seeks knowledge, but the mouth of a fool feeds on folly. All the days of the oppressed are wretched, but the cheerful heart has a continual feast. Better a little with fear of the Lord than great wealth with turmoil. We talked about that one before, like the dynamics of, it's when it says the better than, it's not saying that these are instructive, that it's better to be poor. It's better if this is your circumstance and you have this, than this circumstance and this. They're combinations. The combination there is really critical. And so this verse does absolutely not say that it's evil to have wealth. Hear me on that. That is not what this says at all. It's saying that the point of your focus should be on fear of the Lord. Better a little than a fear of the Lord than a great wealth with turmoil. If that doesn't say that to you, you need to examine your thoughts about legalism and how this works. God wants you to think. This is wisdom here. This is not, rote. It's like these exact words are exactly what you must. It's not that. It's he wants you to be able to understand through discovery here that what does this say? It says that the most important thing is fearing the Lord. If you're focused on wealth, that will have turmoil. And if you don't have the fear of the Lord with that wealth, that's what this is saying. I hope that's very clear because this is really super important. Same thing with here, with the better small serving of vegetables with love than a fattened calf with hatred. It's the same kind of notion here. This is not saying that vegetables are better than a fattened calf. That's not. Meat is always better. Let's just say it like it is. In fact, it's kind of funny. I was actually thinking this morning about doing some referral networking, I guess you could say, or how's that called? Affiliate, I guess is the way to say that. Yeah, it's a notion of there's things that I use that I can share with you, and one of those things is Butcher Box, and maybe I'll find the link and I'll send it at the very end of this. But the idea here is that if it says better as a small serving of vegetables with love, which is so. And again, it's not the vegetables; it's the love, right? We want the love, not the hatred, and we need to be focused on that sort of thing. And so, a small serving of vegetables isn't going to get you very far in life, right? Whereas a thing of beef is going to get you a lot farther, right? We know that. Hopefully, we know that. So this is not saying that you should be a vegetarian because otherwise, you're getting hatred. That's not what this says. It says that if you're being served, choice beef, like it's that filet mignon, but it's served to you with hatred. That's not great. That's not ideal. You should not be getting that. That's not That's not ideal. It's the seeking the love it's better to starve and still have the love than it is to have the hatred and be well fed. I hope that's clear. Such a paradox with people I know, especially in all the Christianese that gets out there, and the way we make things into sayings and we don't think about what they mean. So, verse 18: a hot-tempered person stirs up conflict, but the one who is patient calms a quarrel. I almost read that squirrel. Okay. More coffee, Deej. The one who is patient calms a quarrel. And that goes right up to the top of this, right? The very, very top, where it says a gentle answer turns away wrath. That's very, very much a callback to that same kind of thing. And so, in other words, gentle words will turn that away. If you're patient, that's how to calm a quarrel. If you just jump in the fray, then nothing's going to be accomplished. Verse 19: the way of the sluggard is blocked with thorns, but the path of the upright is a highway. I don't know if I always see the sluggard and upright as counterpositions there. That's kind of interesting to me. Uh, Verse 20: a wise son brings joy to his father, but a foolish man despises his mother. Indeed. Folly brings joy to one who has no sense, but whoever has understanding keeps a straight course. Plans fail for lack of counsel, but with many advisors they succeed. Again, just one of those great verses. And actually, the funny thing is, we were literally, I was in a mastermind not 45 minutes ago, and this is exactly what we were talking about. Kind of building a dream team is what we were kind of talking about with that. And then the question came up about this, and we're talking about advisors and things like that. And the comment that my friend made towards the end there, I thought was really good. is that, the advice is to surround yourself with smart people. But what's often not heeded with that is that then listen to them. I thought that was a great point, so I thought I'd bring that up as well. But plans fail for lack of counsel means that if you don't have those people at all, then you're definitely going to fail. And I hate to say it like that, but that's just been my experience. When I go off on my own and just say, "Oh, that's a great idea." These are those 2 a.m. ideas that I have that I'm like, I wake up and I like, write something down, or I've got notes in my phone of things that I've written down that I'm like, that doesn't even make sense now. Like, how are you so fired up about that, thinking that that was going to be the thing? And this is what counsel does for us. It lets us temper that with reality, or get us so excited about it that we're going to have a bunch of people that are also excited about it. But those advisors are necessary, and having more than one gives multiple perspectives. Your odds of success increase the more advisors you have on that. Um, and as far as the people you actually be able to trust, there's a limit, obviously, to where it becomes practical, but it's sort of like a democracy in a way, where the best ideas rise to the top. But getting that wisdom in your life and getting people that you trust that can actually speak wisdom to you, and know what's best for you with their experiences and that sort of thing is really, really key. Verse 23: a person finds joy in giving an apt reply, and how good is a timely word. Hmm. Person finds joy in giving an apt reply. You know what? I'm going to want to see a cross reference on this, because I'm not. Anytime there's a person, it's like a person. Like what does that mean? What is that? So it's always kind of confusing to me. It's just like it's not specific enough. um, we'll get back to that one, I think. Verse 24: the path of life leads upward for the prudent, to keep them going down to the realm of the dead. The Lord tears down the house of the proud, but he sets the widow's boundary stones in place. Yeah. The Lord detests the thoughts of the wicked, but gracious words are pure in his sight. The greedy bring ruin to their households, but the one who hates bribes will live. So it's equating greed with bribes, which is probably not um, wrong. um, a lot of times you'll see things that are like, um, if you do this, then you'll get this. This is it's going to be a great return, and it'll just be so much money for you, and that sort of thing. You see that a lot, and I think that's essentially a bribe. That does make some sense. The heart of the righteous weighs its answers, but the mouth of the wicked gushes evil. The Lord is far from the wicked, but he hears the prayer of the righteous. Light in a messenger's eyes brings joy to the heart, but good news gives health to the bones. Whoever heeds life-giving correction will be at home among the wise. Those who disregard discipline despise themselves, but the one who heeds correction gains understanding. I like that one a lot, especially the despise themselves part. I wish I could bold that. Where's the bold button? Um, but that's the thing, right? It's yeah. Ultimately, you just despise yourself. You don't even like yourself enough to correct things about yourself. Wisdom's instruction is to fear the Lord. Humility comes before honor. You catch that humility comes before honor? It's so counterintuitive, right? That we can say, oh, you have to be humble before you can be exalted, kind of thing. Since that doesn't even make sense in our, it didn't make sense to as a default then. It doesn't make sense now to most people. They think that in order to be lifted up, you have to basically just step on other people's shoulders, that sort of thing, instead of being lifted up. You have to step on people to get anywhere. You have to be louder than other people to get anywhere. You have to, manipulate situations to be held up in higher guard. That is the way of the world. That's what people think. And honestly, when we see certain things on display, and it's just so obvious, that's why the last few years have just been so just like I've just been shaking my head all the time. Every time I turn on the news, if I do that, which I rarely do, if I see like whatever things going on in politics, in the global theater, especially celebrities, you just see people that are so not humble at all. They are all about this lifestyle of themselves. It's like they have their own religion, and it's just all about them. It's really awful to see, and I wish that wasn't kind of the obvious majority of people that were just so caught up in themselves being right. Wisdom's instruction is to fear the Lord. Wisdom's instruction is to have that reserved fear for the Lord, knowing that the person who, the entity that, if you want, created the universe has the power to decreate us at any point. That's something that probably should be feared. We don't know that he won't. I don't know that God won't just make me go poof in a moment. I don't know that. I could fear that, but it's not fearing what the Lord will do. It's fear of the Lord. It's fear of God. It's that placing all that fear, taking it up from what is giving us anxiety and putting it on God instead. That takes humility. That takes, okay, I'm not in control of this anymore. When I have anxiety about this thing, I may not realize I have control over that, but I absolutely do. I have control over what I feel anxious about. My reasons for doing it, who knows? That's a part of the human condition that I'll probably never understand. And, I know that that's something that I always struggled with as a teenager and as a young adult. I think that my mother worried about how much I worry, put it that way. But at some point I realized that, I'm actually in control of that. I do have a say in what I feel anxious about. And when I realize it's coming on, then that's where I'm able to take that and say, you know what? I need to release my control over this. That's weird to say when it comes to anxiety, to say you release your control over that anxiety, to release that and say, you know what? Okay, God, whatever happens here, it's on you at that point, and you're willing to say, it's not on me anymore. That's not my responsibility anymore. You've told me to fear you and you alone. So I'm taking that responsibility away from myself and I'm putting it completely on God. I hope that's helpful to you today. Unfortunately, I went on way longer than I was intending to here. Got to preaching. I still need to make that a shirt. Got to preaching. I need to do that. One of these days, I need to do it. So I'm glad you were here with me today. Oh, you know what? Actually, here I was going to do this really quick. Let me see if I can do this in a fashion that is fast enough to do. Give me a second. Say Butcher box. Meat. All right. So if I did this, I mentioned that I use a service called ButcherBox, and so here's a referral. I'd say this because I went to their site today and I noticed that they are giving people, like, I think it's either $30 or $50, depending on when you hit it or whatever, from this code. So off your first order, which is kind of cool. And then I get a referral fee back from that, and so I actually get some help. So it doesn't cost you any differently. You're getting a discount. I'm getting a referral, thank you or whatever. But this is a service we've used all of, gosh, about 5 years now. I think we've had ButcherBox, and it's just been good because they just send you whatever selections of meat you want every month, and there's always these little extras that they have and things like that. It's been a great service to have, and so it's high quality meat, and so that's something I do highly recommend. So maybe that's something you can consider. If it's helpful to you, great. If not, hey, tell a friend. But I figured, why not just give these little things that I help you with something, you help me with something. If it's something that I trust and I use, I'm happy to do it. So we'll do that. But in any case, I do hope that you are blessed by the best and be a blessing to all the rest. And we'll see you tomorrow, 8:30 a.m. Right? 8:30? Right? It's okay if you watch it after the fact. It's absolutely fine. As long as you get a proverb in you every day and get that wisdom in you every day. All right. We'll see you next time, everybody.